Hi and welcome to my video. This is an unboxing video of this motherboard, which is the Z77X-Up7 from Gigabyte. This is Gigabyte's official overclocking motherboard and the best they have to offer for the socket 1155 and the chipset Z77 from Intel. So, as we can see, here's the box itself with a nice handle on top, and in the front we see the name of the motherboard, Z77X-Up7, and the slogan, "A new legend is born." So in the front we got additional these symbols, which I will describe in my project log and what they mean and so on. So let's spin the box around to see what's on the back. Here on the back, as we can see, there's a lot of information and pictures, which I will too describe in my project log. So let's turn it back again. So here, back to the front, we got a lid we can open up, and beneath this lid we see the motherboard itself beneath a plastic layer, and in the side of the lid we see additional information with pictures and so on that I will be describing too. So let's go on to open up this package to see what's really included and all the extra stuff that comes with. So here we see the black box that's hiding in the package, and here's the motherboard and all the extra stuff that comes with. So as we can see, here's the motherboard itself, and I thought we could remove the plastic layer and then go through the motherboard a bit fast. As we can see, it consists of a design with a lot of orange and black elements, which is also Gigabyte's official overclocking motherboard colors. Something to note is that you can run up to 4 graphic cards at the same time with this motherboard, as you can see here with 1, 2, 3 and 4 PCIe slots. And up here we got a total of 37 power phases. I've never seen so many before. And we've got the standard of 4 RAM slots here. And here we got a couple of SATA ports, a debug LED, buttons for live overclocking, a button to reset the CMOS, and a button to reboot the computer. And up here we got 2 8-pin connectors, with the standard being 1 8-pin connector, and this will provide us with maximum power to the CPU. And that was about it for the motherboard itself. I will instead focus on the content that is supplied within this box and the package. I would also like you to know that I removed all the components out of their plastic packages, because I think it's better to show them off this way. So I start off with the stuff that are for the graphic cards. Here we see a crossfire bridge for dual AMD graphic cards, and here we see the NVIDIA SLI for the dual NVIDIA graphic cards. Next up, we've got the SLI bridge for 3 graphic cards, and due to the fact that the motherboard supports up to 4 graphic cards, we get a 4-slot NVIDIA SLI bridge to be able to run 4 graphic cards at the same time with this motherboard. Okay, that was the graphics part. Next up is pretty standard. We get these sweet SATA cables, which you use to connect an optical drive or a hard drive, and we get a total of 6 of them. So we can connect our SSD and such stuff, and the motherboard actually supports up to 10 SATA ports at the same time, but we are being provided with 6 cables. And of course this is more than enough for the most of us. Okay, so next up we got this little bracket, which is a USB 3.0 bracket, and you connect this cable to the motherboard, and then you can use these 2 USB 3.0 ports to example transfer your files from your USB stick to your computer fast. And the next product is something really interesting, so I'll just start by opening up this plastic bag. So this is an expansion card which has Wi-Fi, wireless network and Bluetooth built inside. And you connect this into the PCIe slot on the motherboard like this, and then you screw it to the case itself. And of course we need a couple of antennas to act as receivers, and you plug them in at the back of the expansion card like this with the cables, and they will receive the signal from the router or the modem. We also get a USB cable that needs to be attached between the motherboard and this expansion card for the card to be fully functional, and the reason I'm looking forward to use this card a lot is because I've got an Ethernet cable running through my whole apartment, and it will be so nice to skip it and try wireless on a stationary computer. So okay, let's find out what next. Over here we see another bracket which is to be attached to the case itself, and here we see actually two eSATA ports and a Molex port, and with this bracket I can plug in internal hard drives as external hard drives. So basically that's what it does. In other words, I can use a regular hard drive outside of my case and my computer. And here is the Molex cable that you connect like this and this into the hard drive, and this will give our hard drive enough power to start and run. Next up is an eSATA cable that will be connected between this bracket and the hard drive itself, and it will allow the motherboard to communicate with the hard drive. So with this solution I will be able to connect internal hard drives as external hard drives, and it's a really cool function and I'm actually looking forward to use it. Next up I found a package containing 8 cables with some very cool features, so let's open the bag up and see what's inside. They are a little tricky to get out of the bag, as you can see. So the cable looks like this with a little white head, and you put this white head into a specific place on the motherboard, and out of these two cables I can, with the help of a multimeter, measure the voltages on the motherboard. This means that I will be able to measure some real hardware voltages running through the motherboard, for example the CPU core, and not rely on software inside the operating system that are not as accurate. So as I said, I will be able to check and find the real voltages from the motherboard, and it's a really cool and neat feature that I look forward to use, and I bet a lot of overclockers do really want this feature on their motherboard. Next up is this little thing. I'm sure you've seen it before. It's the I/O shield of the motherboard that is to be placed on the case next to the motherboard, and it will shield the I/O ports from example dust and stuff alike. Now it's time for some discs. Here we got 2 discs that we are being supplied with. One contains the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth drivers for the expansion card, and the other disc contains the chipset drivers, and a simple recommendation is to always download the latest from Gigabyte's own website, as they're always updated and better. So enough with the discs. Next up we've got this little handy book, which is the user's manual for this motherboard, and in this book you can read everything about the motherboard itself, functions, about the BIOS, softwares provided and such stuff. And this book really comes handy if you need to read anything or find some errors or just want to have some fun. We've got another manual, but this time it's about the expansion card with the wireless network and the Bluetooth, and this guide will help us set up the expansion card so we can use it. And here's another type of manual, a multilingual manual in a lot of languages, and this will help you with the simple and basic installation of example the CPU cooler, RAM modules and stuff like that you can find useful. And last but definitely not least, we have this cute little Gigabyte sticker that you can stick on your case, and to show off what type of motherboard you have and what is running in your system. So that was about it, what's included in this box with the motherboard, and as both you and I can see, there were a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting stuff. I look forward to try the expansion card with the wireless network and these little tiny cables so I can measure the correct hardware voltages from the motherboard. And I will of course take photographs of all this stuff and put them in my project log with some explanations, so please don't forget to check it out. And other than that, I would like to say thanks a lot for watching this video, and please do leave a comment. Goodbye.